It's great to be here tonight. It's my first time joining, and it's a very interesting and talented array of people. So been really good fun. I've got a couple of poems for you tonight that I'll whiz through fairly quickly. The second one is a part of a group of poems that I pulled together when I was living in London. I left London just before lockdown, actually. I live in Bedford now, and they're called London Tales. So a lot of them are based on buses and experiences, quite a few of them written after drunken forays around London. But this first one is based on a dream. I have a whole other life in my dreamscape. It's called Dreamwitch. I chose to fly. In a busy street in town, I chose to fly. No one saw me. No one even noticed I was there. And so I chose to fly. My alien wings were shiny, slick and wet, hidden and curled in tightly against my back. I squatted softly, unfurled them slowly, and I hovered. At first, just inches, not yet daring that higher perspective, far too scared of being seen, far too wary of being judged. No loftiness for me, at least not yet. No one saw me. Unnoticed and unheard, I gently fluttered past. I was a cough of dust, a skimming autumn leaf, a trodden heel of memory. No one knew. No one had ever known. But then, flying high, higher, highest, above their heads, I suddenly soared. I flipped, I dipped, I cradled horizon. No one saw me. Though as I dived and swooped, in the flick switch of their lensed gaze, I was sure they sensed my presence, felt my breezy, stinging kiss upon their cheek. Was I that screaming, voiceless silence that calls their name inside their heads at night? What force was this to give me so much feeling, that powerful, painful surge of fight or flight? Now, finally, beyond all recognition, it came to pass that everything was lost. For in this wondrous newfound infamy, I'd finally floundered. I'd floundered very quietly, not given much to screaming, lost my grip and started drifting, falling, spinning, still not talking, thinking, blinking, moving, walking, self-possessed, without control, an upright, breathing human. Yawning, stretching, maybe balking at the fact that I was safely and a little too profoundly, for a witch at least, now grounded here on earth. And so the second one is kind of based on my next door neighbours. It used to drive me mad. There's a weird irony because yeah, they did quieten down, so I never really knew what happened at the end of it. This is, you know, it felt like a sort of premonition, called Hackney Barbecue. A sparkling grin of lights voices its presence. Crisp wisps of smoke tease up through lungy leaves. Old fat has burst through grid. There's no meat left on these bones. He has mental health issues. She knows. He's told her often enough, shouted it in wheezy exultations where urgent, sensual whispers did once live. Country music on a loop sneaks out between the curtains, singing of lost love long after guests had said goodbye. Hastily retreating, they'd sensed the mood was changing. They'd never understood, and neither did they once ask why. Drunken memories had danced at the bottom of empty lager cans. She pressed red kisses around hot filter tips, but not now. Now, in blue vein siren, all lit up, pumping through those blackened veins, the pulses stopped. A quiet drill beat in his head. Sputum silence dribbles on cotton, purple cold. He'd loved her once, he said.